Hey guys, today I just wanted to go over my account as a free-to-play player. I have reached level 27 today, and I pulled Renoa, as you see on screen, as my only 5-star. And as a free-to-play player, I just wanted to just go over my account, kind of my team that I'm kind of going with, and kind of how the path has gone. And maybe this can kind of just double up as a bit of a guide on building Renoa. That being said, when it comes to the deck building feature of this game, a lot of it involves RNG, so your luck is definitely going to be different than mine, but hopefully this can help you kind of give an idea of how things are going for me as a free-to-play player, and maybe it can help you just compare how your Renoa is doing and how your account is doing if you do have a Renoa and you are using her. So yeah, so let's just go over this real quickly and go over Renoa. So my main team right now is a pretty standard Renoa team, which is Renoa, Ray, and Mika. Mika being like the OP healer that everyone uses. I did try using Cassius and it did kind of work every now and then. However, I did struggle with some content, mainly because Cassius has a lot of RNG with his quest line. I actually kind of enjoy that kind of gameplay. I like an extra layer of RNG. However, to push content, I've had to sideline him just a bit just to get through some content, including the second promotion. Cassius was not giving me the kind of luck I needed, and I built Mika, got through that, and I've kind of just sidelined Cassius since then for the most part. That being said, going over the main two team members is obviously Renoa and Ray. They have pretty good synergy with each other. Ray overall just has really good synergy with pretty much every DPS in the game. She does just damage, so she is a sub DPS, but she also is a good buffer. And she buffs not only her damage, but also her teammates' damage as well. That has just been very helpful. As you can see, I also have a couple copies of her. I pulled her, we get the free copy, so I have definitely been taking advantage of the fact that I have a couple of her egos right over here. Predator Blade increases morale. Morale is great. And then whenever Ray uses an attack card, she heals for 120%. So she actually dishes out some healing on top of everything. So that has just been really good. In fact, I kind of, when building her deck, I completely have been ignoring her ego too and what that effect was. Hopefully I can remember that next time I try improving her deck to make sure I don't completely get rid of all of her attacks. That being said, we should focus on our main DPS over here, which is Renoa. She's really great. Part of her, she can be a little slow at the beginning because one of her biggest ways of dealing damage is that you do need to create dirge bullets, and you just need to draw the right cards to do that. And so I have been using this deck that I gotten over here because it creates 3 dirge bullets, which is great. And I've gotten rid of one of her basic attacks, just because a lot of her damage comes with more of her special cards, and you kind of don't want to have too many cards that are kind of being pointless. I've kind of kept the shield as a kind of a just in case situation, especially if I don't end up using Mika and I have Cassius in the team. I just thought that keeping the shield would be okay. I had a chance to get rid of it, but I hesitated, didn't get rid of it, and it's okay because in the team that I've been using, I have at least one card that exhausts a different card, and so this ends up being a card I can exhaust as well as the attack damage, so that's been okay. But the really big thing that I got is the fact that I was able to dupe the Flower of Devoured Fate, which was great. That being said, there is a little bit of RNG involved with this one. All dirge bullets in hand gain retrieve. So basically what that means is that all the dirge bullets that I have on the hand, they come back to me after they get discarded once. However, there has been a couple of situations where I get this card and I have no dirge bullets, especially early on, and that kind of just screws me over a little bit, at least for that turn. So I might, if I were to like get another dupe and get an epiphany for one of them, I might not do this one next time, at least to try it out. But I am very pleased that I got the 2 dupes. One is the normal one, the other one's Epiphany, kind of balances out, plus this one is pretty good. So if I get lucky, I would draw the Echo of Sorrow with Flower of Devoured Fate at the same time, and that just means a repeat. And then on the second turn, with the 3 Dirge Bullets back, maybe I draw this card and I create 2 more, and that gives me 5 in my hand. And if I'm extra lucky, I can get either one of these and then dish out a lot of damage. So it's been pretty great. I've got 3 legendary items there, which has been pretty good. I know down the line these will obviously improve, but one thing I wanted to go over with this one is that as much as I like this one, take a note of what the score is on this deck. And if I go to here, I actually have another one where the score is actually higher than the one I currently have equipped. And I just wanted to just go over that blindly just listening to the score isn't always an ideal situation, especially depending on your team or whatnot. I still have this lock because it is still a higher score, and it does have this card, which is actually quite good, 300% damage, and then I can discard a card, but it also gives me an extra point AP on next turn, which can be quite useful, but it is what it is. The equipment here isn't all that insane either. And my intention is to keep both of them until I get a new deck that just completely beats this out of the park. I know that will eventually happen, but at the moment I'm kind of enjoying this one more, so I have been using this one versus this one instead. Maybe people can let me know why this one has a higher score and why this one would be better in certain situations, but I just prefer creating more dirge bullets, and having a dupe of this just seems so much better with me, and so I've just been doing it and enjoying that. I also wanted to quickly go over my Ray real quickly because we don't really need to go over all the buffing she does. Those are pretty standard stuff. I got lucky on some epiphanies, but I really wanted to go over this card over here, which has been kind of a game changer and quite a savior for me. And what this card does is that it does AoE damage to the whole team at the end of the turn. It has 4 stacks, so up to 4 hits, and it just destroys mobs a lot faster. And because Ray is a sub DPS, she does deal decent damage, and I just wanted to go over that card real quickly. It's just really OP. It really works out. Now, speaking of the exhaust that I mentioned earlier, this is the card that exhausts cards, and it's been pretty useful for me. And I don't think we need to go over Mika. Mika's pretty standard. I think the only thing to go over the fact is that with this one, I got rid of her normal attack because she doesn't do a lot of damage. If you are doing a run of chaos and you are trying to focus on building her deck, I strongly recommend getting rid of the attack. I have not seen any reason to keep it, and might as well just get rid of cards that you don't really need. That being said, with this particular run, I got this card over here, which does AoE damage and heals, so it's still a heal. It is a 2 cost, which is a little high for someone that doesn't deal a lot of damage. That being said, it just synergizes really well with this item over here. So every time I use an attack card with cost 2 or more, it inflicts 3 agony on the enemies. And so I kind of just got really good synergy over here, which I'm pretty happy with in that card. But yeah, I don't think we really need to go over Mika beyond that. She heals, she provides more AP, and I got another card that does more healing. So there you go. That's kind of my team that's been kind of carrying me through all the content thus far. I'm kind of enjoying it. That being said, when I do eventually need to make a second team, the team I have in my mind with what I currently have, and that could change down the line, would involve using Mika. So my kind of future plan is either give Cassius another shot and or build another healer, which would be my Nia at the moment. But yeah, that's kind of just the plan, just kind of giving a idea of how it's been going as a free-to-play player who's kind of casually playing and doesn't fully know what he's doing every now and then, and only has 1 5-star. I don't like to do rerolls, so that's just kind of how things have been going for me. Let me know in the comments down below how you have been doing with your run, especially if you are a Renoa main like myself. That being said, that will be all. Thank you guys so much, and until the next time, adieu and goodbye.